Welcome to the Johnny Dell Football Academy podcast on the channel that's trying to answer the whys and hows of the game by talking through and dissecting game film and diving deeper to explain why the X's zig and the O's zag. I am Adam Marino, joined by Mr. Johnny Dell, and we are reminding you, as always, the most fun way to watch is on YouTube, where we go live. There you can comment into the live show. Be sure to hit the notification bell and turn on your notifications so you can be a part of the conversation. We also stream live on Facebook and X. Also, the audio versions are always found on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Now, if you are live with us in the chat, it's probably because you are subscribed, you've hit the notification bell, and turned those notifications on. So, when sharing with your friends, be sure to let them know. We also love to hear from you outside of our live show. Email us at johnnydellsfootballacademy@gmail.com, and you can always check out the website jfa49.com, as it is the most fun way to support the channel. Also, the way we boost the chat and boost the algorithm is to type out hashtag JD49. I was just texting my buddy who Johnny knows, Miles. He went to IU. I was like, dude, going live with Johnny, talking about CJ West, making sure he jumps on. So excited. Welcome in to the show. Welcome in. I almost wanted to say it's a Meat Friday. I love listening to Dan Patrick, and he always has Meat Fridays. And Johnny always takes some time to talk about White Oak Pastures, and I figured It's been a minute and I wanted to check in. Have you gotten anything lately from White Oak Pastures?
Yes, I have. You guys know me. You know, if you've watched the show, you know that I love some White Oak Pastures. If you haven't heard yet, I will do this very quickly. White Oak Pastures is a 6,000-acre, 5-generation family farm out of Bluffton, Georgia, a small town of about 300 people. Years ago, their owner, he decided that he wanted to, that they were stripping their land and it just wasn't sustainable the way they were going about raising food. And so they ended up switching over to a regenerative farming model and have stopped using all chemical fertilizers, all pesticides, all herbicides, no animal alteration of any kind. All of their beef and lamb are grass-fed, grass-finished. They have pasture-raised and forage-fed pork. I love their Iberico chorizo. It is some of the best chorizo you may ever get anywhere in the world from a quality animal. There's been a lot of different things coming out that we're learning about toxins in our food and about the dangers of like seed oils that promote inflammation. You don't have to take my word for it. Just put in any AI and ask them about seed oils, ask them about grass-fed, grass-finished, and pasture-raised animals and the fat profiles, and you will find that they are very different. I've switched over, and my brain seems a little bit sharper. I know it was already a dull butter knife already, but it's gotten a little bit sharper there. But we love us some White Oak Pastures. Last night just had a 21-day aged, grass-fed, grass-finished ribeye that was absolutely phenomenal. Really makes us feel so much better. You feel like you have more energy, you have less inflammation in your body, and just everything feels better. There's more vitamins, more nutrients. A study just came out of Utah just 3 months ago that showed that grass-fed, grass-finished animals have 4 times the polyphenols of animals raised on feedlots, which polyphenols are powerful antioxidants that you get from like green tea. Green tea extract is about getting you polyphenols because it's such a powerful antioxidant. Well, you don't have to go with that. It's still good to have that supplement, but it's not like you're having to try and supplement what animals used to have that we found out are very important. So you can go to whiteoakpastures.com/JD49 and check it out. I really love White Oak Pastures. We love them. Putting in an order this week to get some more stuff in my freezer. It ships to you in a cooler, frozen, vacuum sealed, packed in dry ice. They have 2-day shipping to almost the entire 48 states. So check them out. They will get it to you by the time that it needs to be there. And so love us some White Oak Pastures. Support some people doing some good things and trying to produce sustainable futures in food production. There's a big argument. I saw a very popular YouTube channel that does a lot of meat stuff, and for the most part, I agreed with some things they were doing. They're comparing grain-fed and grass-fed beef. And the one thing I disagreed with, they said it takes more resources to do the grass-fed just because it takes more land. And so there's going to be more resources involved. And then I will say, I push back there because I say it's not just about land usage. Yes, it takes more acres to produce the same amount of food, but it uses less water. It uses less soil. It uses less damage on the environment. It takes better care of our air, takes better care of our runoff and our streams. So in that sense, yes, it uses more straight land, but everything else, it actually costs less to do it this way. So love it in there and like it. But we're not here to talk about a White Oak Pastures. We're here to talk about some CJ West.
Some IU football. That's the thing that we Niner fans talk about the most in our life is Indiana University football. That sounds so awkward coming out of my mouth, but IU was actually good. So now we got this guy, CJ West. I explained last week or on Monday, I explained that, hey, I'm all in on this guy because I live in Indiana, saw every single game that IU played because one of my best friends went there, helped run the football program there, knows a lot about the ins and outs. And I am super excited to see what you have drummed up on a one CJ West.
Yeah, so we're going to dive into some film. For those of you who caught me on uh, Rob's podcast yesterday on the show, the live show. I know Lisa was there. I saw her in the chat. She jumped in with a super chat there. We're going to show some of the same film, but we are going to have some new clips. So I was on the Gold Standard podcast yesterday. We talked a little bit about CJ West. So I'm going to be diving into some of the same clips, but again, there are going to be some new ones here. So, and for some reason, this is not showing up. This is always such a it's such a womp womp when I go to add this in and it just doesn't even show up, and I don't even know why it's not showing up. Just give me 1 second. I think I have to shut something off and restart it
So
because
I'll tell him a few more stories about CJ West over this past year because again, I was someone that actually watched a lot of IU football. I don't think most Niner fans, not only do they not care about the Big Ten per se, especially before USC, UCLA, all those came up, but the Ohio State game, I'll point out as Johnny gets it. The Ohio State game, I know IU did not play well, but CJ West's name got mentioned in that game so much, and he played really well. And that's Ohio State. That's again why I'm excited is the level of competition that CJ West played against. We're going to see some of it here.
yeah, I mean, and look, I started diving into CJ West's tape right after the draft, and I am 7 games in, and I have not found a game where I came away and went, I don't know.
Yeah,
Every
I
game,
knew it.
every
Yeah.
game, there
Yep.
is just clip after clip. I've got, I think I got 16 clips here on CJ West,
Let's
and this
go.
is through like 4 games, 3 games, and I've got probably another 15 that are still in the can that are still in the hopper that I haven't even put here because we don't have time to do this on a live. I'm going to be doing a full edited video, and I'm probably going to have 40 or 50 clips of this kid. I mean, there is just clip after clip of good tape. I can see some of the reasons why he may have slipped, but these aren't like deal breakers for me. And I think the 49ers may have really got themselves an absolute gem. So we're going to see him here first on a pass rush. He's in what you'd kind of call almost a 3 technique inside shoulder of the guard, kind of 2-eye. He's splitting the difference here. So normally this guard has a really wide split. Normally this guard is going to be over a little bit more, and a 3 is going to be usually here. Okay. So this is going to be, excuse me, what am I saying? It's going to be a 2. A 2 would be head up, and then you have a 2-eye inside. 3 is outside shoulder of the guard. Need more coffee over here for a second. But we're going to see him on a little pass rush. He's going to come inside the center here. And watch this swipe move. This ball gets out super quick. This is just a screen, but this center is not trying to lose here. He's not just trying to pass him off and then go block. You can watch. He's going to get whooped and turn around and still try and block CJ West. So you're going to see how quickly he can move here. Oh, my goodness. He throws the center out of the way. Let's slow this down because you got to see this. He's going to come in and just shove the center out of the way and come in. And again, this center is not trying to lose. You can see him. He's still trying to slow him down. He's not looking to get out there in the block. So that is a pass rush win as quickly as you can see. So he's got first step quickness. That's something that is really big. It's really big in the 49ers system. Sorry, I just got a text that somebody robbed our bank downtown in a very small town.
I have an alibi.
It is going wild in this town. Our chief of police was, I'm not even joking, our chief of police was arrested last night for driving his ATV drunk and wrecked it, lost his service pistol, and then got in a fight with his brother in the front yard. So want to talk about you're from a small town, and then this morning apparently our bank got robbed. Just got a text on that. Sorry. Anyways,
we have alibis.
Yeah, I have an alibi. I'm here. I am live on this show. They know it wasn't me.
I am not.
The other thing you see over and over and over again on his tape is this kid has a nasty bull rush. I mean, he puts the bull in bull rush. So we're going to watch this full speed. Watch what he does and the knockback on the center.
Oh, gosh.
This kid is a load. When he like loads up and just bull rushes, you see, like, I mean, this center is on skates.
Look at his right hand. It's just like, flailing.
Well, I mean, he's trying to keep himself from falling over.
Yeah.
The only thing that keeps him from getting absolutely destroyed is that the guard has to come over and help. You know, yes, this is a ball that gets out and it's a completion, and this goes up as a 0 on the stat sheet, but that is a powerful rush. You know, just imagine now that how everybody that you go against, they start seeing this when you pair it with the Nick Bosa, when you pair it with a Michael Williams, when you pair it with somebody else coming up the middle. Like, this kid has got a powerful bull rush, and it is really fun to see. And it's not just once. You see it over and over and over again. Now, when he was allowed to, sometimes he's got to do other things, but when he's able to just bull rush, he's pretty powerful. Here, you're going to see him in the run game. They're going to try and get a little movement block on him. One thing that you see in movement blocks is that as people have been pushing to disrupt zone running is penetration and establishing a new line of scrimmage. So this ball is being snapped at the it's either the 25 or the 30, somewhere in there. But you're going to see he engages the center on a movement block, and that center is being moved into the backfield. They're trying to run this ball out here, but he's going to establish a new line of scrimmage. The center is 2 yards behind where he snapped the ball.
Look at all the other
line of scrimmage. Yeah.
Look at the others.
Everybody else is here, and he's here. The running back then, this draws the tight end, and the running back's going to have to try and cut this up, and now you have fillers that are unblocked because they wanted to get this out here. And this tight end wants to come pick up the linebacker, but they can't do it because there has been a new line of scrimmage that has been created by CJ West. And so, again, this is a nothing in the stat sheet, but he absolutely caused this play. You see this a lot with CJ West, that there's things that don't necessarily show up in the stat sheet, but that is a tackle for a 1-yard gain. How many times did we say that on a rush last year for the 49ers? 1-yard gain. You didn't say it very often. Well, because you didn't have somebody doing all the dirty work. Now, another thing that shows up over and over again on his tape is it's a move called don't laugh at this. It's called a butt rip. So what they're taught to do is it's almost a headbutt into the center of the chest of the lineman, get them, knock them off their heels, and then grab and rip. And he does this on pass rushes. He does this on run blocks. You're going to see it in full speed. It's going to go real quick. He's here on the center. It's going to see his butt rip.
Oh. Zoinks.
I mean, this is next level power. So here's the butt rip. You're going to see, bam, get the center up high. So now he's trying to push himself down, and then you use his weight and your strength to rip him through. Once you see,
that duck down. Jeez.
I mean, that is a textbook butt rip. So, I mean, he peeks in to see that it's a run play, and then he throws the center, and makes the tackle for a loss. If you're a running back, that is not what you want to see. So over and over again, there's a lot of good tape here from CJ West. We're going to keep rolling. So Adam, you got to help me keep an eye on the chat and make sure that there's nothing in here.
Oh, they're all just laughing at the butt. They're all just laughing.
Oh, okay. All right. It's good to see that we have the maturity in.
Oh, we know who we're dealing with. We know who we're dealing with.
Okay. So now one of the reasons why he may have fell in the draft a little bit is that his technique in these twists and stunts is really unrefined. He's got to learn to really play specific assignments on this. So they're going to run a little twist up here. He's going to come over, attack the inside shoulder of the guard, and they're going to twist around. Now, this center does not do a good job with this at all, but it's not because CJ West did so good. What I would like to see from CJ West is come in here, grab the arm of the center and pull him and come and knock out the guard to open up a hole for this so that the center can't peel off and go get him. We used to see that from Justin Smith all the time, right? He would do that with Aldon Smith. He would come in, grab those guys, the guard and the tackle, and Aldon Smith would come looping around and go and get the sack. What you see here is he comes inside and he just kind of attacks the guard. The center should be peeling off and picking this up. There's nothing preventing him from doing that, but he doesn't. And so the guy comes through anyways, but you would like to see, I've got to change some speeds around because it's doing this weird thing where it locks up on speed. There we go. What you'd like to see is grab that center, but he doesn't. And so it works, but it's pretty unrefined. That's one reason he fell. Another problem is you see he kind of has a hard time stopping and starting lateral movement. It's not quite there, what you would see. So those are a couple of the reasons. Plus, I think some of the other defensive tackles who went before him had more pass rush upside as far as they had more in their bag. They could win with some quickness. They could win with some bull rush. They could win with lateral movement. He's not as much that guy. He's going to just dominate the guy in front of him. And so I think there's some questions. Can he do that at the next level? I'm not seeing anything that says he can't. And again, this bull rush might be the best at coming out of college for a defensive tackle. You're going to see him here. Watch this bull rush. This is against UCLA. Just put the center on skates. Now he goes down, but this isn't because he did something wrong. There's an illegal block here that doesn't get called. So you're going to see him come across the center, and he is now driving the center back. The guard's going to come over and clip him here. This is technically a clip block. It's a block at the waist while he's engaged with another player. Like that is an illegal block right there. But he is driving that center into the quarterback right there. So that's why he goes down, is the illegal block. But again, nasty bull rush. You can see this center has no chance from pretty much the beginning. I mean, just again, he's a handful. Nasty bull rush. So then the question, or we're going to see him again on another nasty bull rush here. This is, I believe this, I'm trying to remember. I think this is Maryland or somebody else, or can't remember exactly who this was against, but I mean, it was just every team you see this. So again, watch the bull rush here. This center has no control here. He's just getting driven back. If there was any other pass rush along the defensive line, this quarterback would be in trouble. I mean, these guys are locked down, so he's just able to step up and do what he wants. But I mean, just driving the center into the quarterback. Love to see it. Powerful young man. And then the other thing that we're going to see is something we struggled with so much last year was abilities to anchor against a double team. So he's going to anchor here. You're going to see this coming out. I believe it's an RPO. But an RPO, these guys are run blocking. I mean, it's the quarterback. It's a run that has a pass option that the quarterback can throw it, but the linemen are run blocking. So watch this. This is a duo block, something that we struggled with so much last year because they would engage, they would drive, or one of our guys would just shoot out the side, and then they would go pick up the linebacker. Here, he's able to engage. They got to hold him for a moment. It allows the linebacker to close the distance, and then he anchors against his man. He's peeking for where's the running back. If he doesn't see him here, he's going to toss this guy. He doesn't just try and slip in. He controls his man. That's a big difference from what we saw. And so you can see that. He saw that the running back wasn't there, and he peeked, and he was ready to disengage and go make a tackle. Again, it's a nothing on the stat sheet, but it's exactly what you want to see from your defensive tackle against this kind of a play. He's doing his job. So really great there. And then this is when you try and block down on him, he is such a load. These guys have to load up. It does give him a chance to do the old Ole, the Matador, and get these guys going. I call CJ West the destroyer of run blocks. So you're going to see this here. The guy tries to get him, and he just shrugs it off. And the guy that was trying to block him is right there. So again, just watch this engagement. Take it, get off me, and go and get the running back at the goal line. That guy was very new right there. He goes, man, I'm going to hear it in the film room on Monday.
I think that lineman did his job, Johnny. I think that offensive lineman, his assignment was to do an army crawl 8 yards up the field.
Stop it, Adam.
He did it very well. So let's not hate on the guy.
Adam. I don't have time for your nonsense today. All right.
Nobody got time.
So now we've got some clips that I didn't get to yesterday, and I just need to make sure for a sec that. Yep. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. This looks just like the other clip. Did my editing not export it right? So here you're going to see this is the same RPO we saw earlier, but this time they're going to run it, and so they're going to try and duo block down on him. And again, watch him control this guy. So this running back kind of goes rogue. So because he sees a hole, because these guys did not do anything on the backside, and the linebacker kind of did what he was supposed to do. They pulled the tight end, and so the linebacker just followed the puller, and so this ends up being open. But again, we want to watch CJ West. That's what we have to focus on here. It's not necessarily how a play ended up. You look at the mechanics of the people in their assignment. So we're going to see this. They block down. He's able to anchor, and they get no movement on him. So I love that. I love that he's controlled his guy. He's peeking for where's the running back. And so he's looking at that. He's doing his job. He disengages to go get the running back, and he's double teamed. And it's not his fault that there's no run support from the backside. That's not his fault. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. So, like I said, his linebacker, they're pulling a tight end. His linebacker goes. You need better backside support. He did his job. Something that we struggled against so much last year. He's able to again anchor and hold. So is something that we struggled against so much last year. All right. So now we're going to see again the ability to anchor against a double team. He's right here. So comes in and just anchors, splits it, beats the tackle, and goes and gets the running back. I mean, when I say he is the destroyer of run blocks, he is a destroyer of run blocks. Again, watch this here. They're going to try and get down. And the choice that this guard has to make is, do I continue blocking CJ, or do I go up and get to the second level? If I continue blocking CJ, then the linebacker is going to come in and fill. If he leaves, this tackle cannot block CJ West on his own. That's the struggle in here. So, I mean, he essentially through here takes on 3 blockers in succession. He takes on the guard, the tackle, and then he's going to take on a pulling tight end. He's going to occupy all 3 guys and get in on the tackle. So there he is. Oh, my goodness. And a tackle for loss. That is dominance in the run game. We did not see this at all last year. He's so fun to watch. The tape is so good. And then his straight line speed is much better than you would expect for a kid this size. So he's right here. Or excuse me, no, that's the guy next to him. The guy next to him is like a baby version of him. And he wears number 6. So it was hard to find sometimes. But he's going to be here. They're going to run a little game. And this quarterback's going to take off. Watch his straight line speed to chase this down. This is pretty impressive for a kid that size. Look at him go. Look at the big man go. Go get him. Oh, I love it. I mean, that's awesome. I love seeing moments like that from defensive tackles when they'll get out and run and go for it. I love it. And then this play we're going to recognize from one of the teams we hate. This is the old pin and pull. So what they're going to try and do is block down on him and then pull this center around. The Eagles run this all the time, okay? And then they come this way. So they're going to try this, and he's having none of it. So he's got length that you like, power. So first thing here, he's going to read it, engage with the guard who's got an advantageous block, but watch him long arm and just press this guard off of him and anchor as they're trying to run this up the middle. And the quarterback's going to try and come in, and he drives the guard into the lane, and the quarterback says, nope, I'm out of here. He can't go there. And I get it. There's another guy coming off the edge, but just the control of his lineman, that he is not giving up. He's squeezing that line while also holding his gap. This would be what we would call 1.5 gap ideas. To be able to do that. We haven't been able to do that much, and we've needed that from a nose tackle in our defense. So he's able to do that, control blockers and engage. Oh, it's fun to watch. And then you're going to see him again on a stunt here. They're going to run this. Again, it's a little unrefined. I would like to see him do this while grabbing the center and coming into the guard. But watch I call it the wrecking ball on a stunt. And the tape speaks for itself. I mean, he just comes in and he's like a wrecking ball, just blast this guard out. And so if the center comes over and helps, now he's free to come up the middle. I mean, this dude is a load. And this is another one where you would get a quarterback pressure off this, not a sack. So it's just pow, and then in there, and these guys aren't able to do that. Again, I would like to see him hold the center a little bit more, so that you allow this guy to not be engaged and go get your quarterback. But he has the abilities there of the things we like to do. Really excited about this kid. I mean, when I've watched through so much of this tape, I really like it. So he's got tons of power. He's got the ability to bull rush, anchor against double teams, and just really, I'm looking at this as a much higher upside Jordan Elliott that can anchor a little bit better. Jordan Elliott was a very good run stopper, especially in Cleveland. And so you're able to bring him in, plug like what they envision Jordan Elliott to be, but bring a lot of juice in the pass rush. Really like this kid. I do understand the DJ Jones comparisons. I don't think he has the lateral quickness that DJ Jones had, but he's got more power. So I'm not sure the DJ Jones comparison is necessarily on point. It's hard to kind of really, square in of this is the kid, like this is the comp for him. I'm not sure who I've watched over the last few years that really kind of narrows into this. I guess maybe a good way to put it is like a poor man's Vita Vea. Definitely not saying, he's a Vita Vea, that he would have been gone in the first round, but you see the same kind of traits. Not exactly the most agile and quick guy side to side, but bull rush is good. Straight line speed is really good. Ability to anchor in the run game is really good. In those ways, he reminds you of Vita Vea. Violent hands, power that's just for days. So I'm really excited about this kid as a prospect, and I think us as 49ers fans should be too.
So I was looking in the chat. There was a really good question, and now I can't find it. It was regarding where you think he lines up in Salah's defense. It was worded here, but where do you think? How do you think he will line up, and where do you see? What are you excited for, knowing what you know about Salah?
Well, one thing that I'm really interested about with Saleh is are we going to return kind of like to what we were doing in 2017, 2018, 2000 early 2019. We made a big shift in 2018 to 19 where we went to the true wide nine. We used to run a lot more we'd call it a 4-3 under, where you'd have a nose tackle, you'd have a 3 technique on the weak side, and you would end up bringing a linebacker over the tight end on the strong side, create a 5-man surface. And then we went to a wide 9 in 2019, where you go really wide. You basically have the same edges, but you go from 3 players on the interior to 2 players on the interior. And now you ask a safety to come up and fill in some of those gaps. With him being more of a nose tackle type, I do wonder if we're going to see a return more to a little bit more under fronts, creating that 5-man surface. He would be the ideal 1 technique, because in your under front, you have a 1 technique. I think you would see a much more ideal 1 technique from him in that area. You can have him as a 2-eye, which is pretty common in our wide 9. So I see him in that role. He's going to be inside the guards, between the inside shoulder of both guards and the center. That's where he's going to be lining up, and he's going to be asked to take on the center and the guard and disrupt those movement blocks, just anchor, disrupt those duo blocks that they want to come down and get to the next level. And I've got a clip here that I can show with some of our issues last year that I showed yesterday with Rob, again, just to underscore why the abilities to do what he can do are so important for us. Because this was from, I think it was the 3rd game of the year against the Rams. This was early in that Rams game, and the Rams literally came out in this same exact formation, same personnel, and ran this play probably 10 or 12 times in this game. The drive where they went down to score the game-winning, what ended up being the game-winning touchdown, or it brought, I think it tied the game or whatever. It brought it really close. They got down inside the 20, and they ran this play 3 or 4 times, 3 times in a row. This same formation, same play. And I said after that breakdown video during the year last year, I said, teams are going to continue running this at us all year until we prove we can stop it. And we never did all season long. Okay. So you got Javon Hargrave over here. You got Malik Collins over here. This is just a duo play. So they're going to have double team.
Those aren't scrubs. Those guys aren't scrubs.
Double team and double team. Okay. You got Leonard Floyd. This is Leonard Floyd over here. Let me do this in blue. Nope, that's not blue. This is Leonard Floyd over here. So you got double teams across the board. And what they look to do is double team and watch for the linebackers to flow, and then whichever side they flow on, peel off and go block. Peel off and go block. That's what they're looking to do here. And the running back, they're taught, they get this, and the drill that they have for these running backs when they do this is they're going to have a linebacker and an offensive lineman, and they're going to stand over each other. The running back's going to get a handoff. He's going to start running towards the back of the lineman, and wherever they see color flash, they go the opposite. So that's how running backs are taught to run this play. And so it's all about we've got to make them commit to where they're going to go, and they're going to try and get vertical movement on these double teams to force these linebackers to commit. So they have to get out of the way. So what you have to do as a defensive front is hold down and not allow yourself to get moved vertically. You have to anchor. And then once they peel off to go get somebody, then you have to control your man, push that man into his gap, and then solidify your gap. We don't do that. We struggle with that all year. So here, you're going to see initially, boom, there's the double teams all across the board. Okay. So then they're going to watch these linebackers commit, and you're going to get peel off, you're going to get peel off, and you're going to get peel off. And nobody holds down. So right here, you got hasn't held down the double team, hasn't held down the double team. Javon Hargrave is the only one who held on to his double team. So what that means is now you got a lineman coming at Fred Warner. You got a lineman coming at Devondre Campbell. So now these guys, there's going to be a gash right here. And so Malik Collins, you should drive your man in here, and you should be holding this gap down. He doesn't. He gets driven past, and here we go. And now you're having two guys have to try and wall engage, make the tackle. So this isn't a big run. It's like 7-8 yards. But these are death by 1,000 cuts. Death by 1,000 cuts. You get hit for 7 yards, 6 yards. This happened over and over. How many runs did we see last year of 6 and 7 yards? And it was off this stinking play. This stinking play over and over and over again. Because this guy and this guy could not hold down double teams. This guy is. He's occupying his double teams. Now, he's not holding up necessarily and holding ground, but he's not giving up the double team. Once Hargrave went down, nobody occupied double teams and held him down. Alfred Collins does that. CJ West does that. Michael Williams does that. This is why we drafted those kids. Exactly why. They said, we are not going to let this happen again. This is not happening to us all year like it did all year last year. So that is why CJ West becomes a really important piece to this defense, a really important piece of what we did. Alfred Collins becomes a big one. I'm going to dive into more Alfred Collins tape as we go.
Another time where we're in church and the chat goes silent because we're just like in awe, like watching the breakdown. You love to see it. That is why we are a part of this channel, the Whys and Hows. And yes, that's what we're excited for, is looking at the guys that we got drafted. Let's look ahead a little bit. What is the schedule, do you think, for other videos and breakdowns as far as for our show as well? What are we looking at, Johnny?
We're going to be looking at a few other things. I'm actually going to hand the chat back over to you. I'm just going to go make sure my door's locked here because we are in a lockdown in town. So I'll pass it off to you for a sec.
So let's take this opportunity to make sure that you take your phone and, wow, it's very bright. Oh, there it goes. And show it to people wearing Niner gear. If you're out to eat and you see someone wearing a Niner cap, go up to them and say, hey, love the Niners as well. Have you seen this channel? And show them your phone, get them locked in. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so that when we go live, because it sometimes is a little bit more random. Today was a little bit later. Johnny had some family stuff to take care of, so we went even a little bit, tiny bit later than normal. Also, Johnny has now been on 2 episodes of Sports Idiot Nation. So new episodes of Sports Idiot Nation are every Monday and Thursday. So for a wider scope on all things from the idiot verse, all sports, all stories, we like to get into that, and I host that as well. Johnny is not stolen. He is fine. He's back with us.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm around and
Locked in.
Yeah, I'm locked in, and yeah, that's about all I'll say about that. For different things, but anyways, we're gonna dive into tape on all these prospects and draftees as we go. The couple guys that I'm really looking forward to diving into more of their tape is going to be Alfred Collins, Connor Colby. I'm really interested about Connor Colby. I'm really interested too in the undrafted free agent Moss, the lineman. I think there's two guys there that they really might have something. So, and I posted this on my X account. The biggest thing that I'm really interested in with Connor Colby, and for anybody who didn't see it, I'm going to bring it up here in just 1 second when I find it. That his relative athletic score is really impressive. So I'm talking 40-yard dash, 20-yard split, 10-yard split. When you're looking at these are in the upper percentiles of every offensive lineman out there. And then this is also all time. Okay. His arm length is a little low. That's why he dropped so far. One reason. Arm length's a little low. That makes it harder in some pass blocking situations. It does make it a little bit harder when you get to the second level. If you come against a linebacker that has a little bit longer arms, you can't quite get into them. But his arm length is exactly the same as Jake Brendel. So that's not an issue for them that they see as like, this is a deal breaker for me. What boys you also like is the short shuttle is also really good, and the broad jump really good. Okay, what does that tell you when you see 40-yard, 20-yard, 10-yard split, short shuttle, and broad jump as really high? And Adam is blowing up the sound over here.
Yeah.
What that tells you is that, so we ask, why do we care about broad jump for an offensive lineman? Broad jump shows explosiveness in movement. Okay, how explosive are they to get off their first few steps? It tells you how quickly, because they're going from a standing position to a movement forward. It shows you how much explosiveness they have moving forward. That's your broad jump. That tells you really high explosive moving forward. The 10-yard split, really fast over those first 10 yards. So that's, again, it's not just first step explosiveness. It's not just first and second step explosiveness. It's into those first 6, 7 steps explosiveness. When you see the short shuttle, that's the ability to change direction side to side. So it's giving you really good lateral movement in the run game. So the three things that are so important for this offense, for our system, is the lateral movement from your guards, explosive first step, and ability to get to those linebackers on the second level at 5 to 10 yards. So those three things. And then you also have the ability to pull and go out and run and get to a safety if you can do that. So that's where the 20-yard split and the 40-yard comes in. Those things, the 40-yard especially being on like those tunnel screens. When you throw that tunnel screen and that lineman has to run out and get out in front of that receiver to get a safety or a backside line or a linebacker, like those sorts of things. So he has every bit of the movement measurables for everything that is our bread and butter as an offense and from our offensive line. Okay. He can move laterally. He can move in the short area. He can move in the medium area, and he can move in the long area, and he has great first step quickness. So that is why I'm really intrigued by Connor Colby. You have the athletic measurables that we need in our system to go get somebody. And just because he's a really late round pick does not mean he won't be playing and won't be getting serious playing time with this team, and that he couldn't push for that. I mean, when you look at most of their players that they've picked over the years that have started a lot of games, we're not talking about first round picks. We're talking about guys like Colton McKivitz. Now, I get it. Everybody hates on Colton McKivitz, but Colton McKivitz was not our worst offensive lineman last year. Aaron Banks was our worst offensive lineman, and he got paid a huge amount of money, and he was a second-round pick. Spencer Burford started a lot of games for us, was a fifth-round pick. You have Dominic Puni was a late third, right? Like he was a mid-round pick. I get it's seventh round, but there's something really interesting. And Iowa has been running this 95% of the same system that we have been running. Their offensive coordinator was somebody who worked under Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. and he's also worked with Mike LaFleur, and he's run the wide zone West Coast offense for a long time. So they get to see what he does. These are the most important traits. So I'm really interested to get into Connor Colby's tape and see what's there. Same thing with Moss, though. Moss was very much an athletic kid that can move and has all that. And he may be a little bit more refined. Connor Colby, I think, will be more of a project during the first year, but I'm really intrigued by those measurables. Those measurables are not common. One of the reasons I loved Jackson Slater was because that was the kind of movement abilities Jackson Slater had. Jackson Slater went to the Titans, and I think that was a great pick for them. And everybody knows how high I was on Jackson Slater. There weren't that many guards that have that kind of movement abilities. You're talking he's in the top 2 or 3 athletic measurables for movement of guards in this class. So really like that. Now, what some of the knocks on him was the bench was quite low for a lineman. You wanted to see that more in the 26, 27 rep range, and he was at 23. His weight, average for a guard, and then short arms. So those were the things that were the knocks on him, and then some pass pro issues. But again, with our offensive line, we have always weighted towards run blockers over pass protectors. The only guy we didn't do that with was Aaron Banks. And clearly he had a good rookie year. It has been downhill since, and I think they're kind of going back to the offensive line saying, yeah, I know we wanted to kind of bring some more pass protectors in around Brock Purdy, but when we can't run the ball, that is the worst outcome for us. And the 49ers were just really poor in early down run efficiency. So they've got to be able to bring that up and get that ball rolling a little bit more, literally get the ball rolling.
Yeah, we're excited. This month, in a couple weeks, is the NFL schedule release. Also, I'll remind everyone. And I'm excited to find out because the Indianapolis Colts have signed up to play possibly overseas. And if they do, and if they get that game against the 49ers, I will be sad because then I can't go. I'm looking to go to Indy for sure. So I'm super excited to see the schedule release. We will have to do a breakdown of that and see. I know like Tennessee I would love to travel to, but they play us at our place this year. We have a favorable schedule as explain that real quick before we get out of here. The breakdown of how that works, that we finished last, and so we play kind of the
Yeah.
last of
So
the
I mean, the way that they always do this is that they rotate around the divisions. You're going to play your division, every team in your division twice. You play another division within your conference. This year, I believe we're going to be playing the NFC South.
Yep.
We're back to the NFC South. So we're going to play the NFC South, and then you play again rotating a division of the AFC. Last year we played the AFC West. The year before we played the AFC North. So we're going to play the AFC South this year. And then you play from the your conference, remaining conference. You play the teams that were the same seed as you out of the two divisions that you're not playing. So NFC East, NFC North, and NFC NFC East and NFC North. You'll play the same 2 seeded teams. That's why the 49ers and Cowboys used to play each other every year in the 90s. Was because they were both finishing first in their divisions. So no matter what, they were going to play each other, and at least once a year. And then now with the 17 game schedule, I can't remember what the formula was for the 17 game. I believe it's another AFC team. You play a seed from a rotating conference or division from the AFC, and that's how they've done the formula now. So that's why you end up with a more favorable schedule, is that you tend to 2 of the games that you're going to have are going to be against teams that when you place last in your division, they're going to be the last in their division too. So that's why you get a little bit more favorable of a schedule. The difference now is that you're also playing the AFC South, which is mostly
not good
outside the Texans. I mean, the Texans are going to be a tough matchup. I mean, I love what the Texans are doing.
For sure.
And
but the other 3 teams, I mean,
and I will say the Texans went out and got themselves some receivers. I mean, everybody heard about how much I love Jaden Higgins this year, and they went and got Jaden Higgins in the early 2nd round. I mean, you want to talk about now 2 massive weapons for CJ Stroud there. I'm not sure how they're going to block for him quite yet still, but when you got Nico Collins and Jaden Higgins and you added Jalen Noel, who was the vertical threat, oh my goodness. I mean, you were talking about absolute destroyers of the intermediate area and short area for CJ Stroud. That's going to be wild to watch. I'm excited to see that. That's going to be a really good, and we are definitely going to have to hook up with Houston Stressens. Great content creator over there doing the Houston stuff. We're gonna have to link up on that and do a pregame show on that one. That's gonna be a spicy game. I mean, there's so many storylines of that, the great weapons that they have there, that great defense over there with Aziz Al-Shire coming back to face his old team, and D'Amico Ryan's coming and facing the 49ers, and you get Robert Saleh, his mentor on the defense on the other side, and man, this is gonna be awesome. So I'm already excited about that game.
Yeah, I'm excited to play against Travis Hunter and see, as the Jaguars got him, they traded up, well documented, and just to kind of see him and see how he does in the NFL. But the AFC South, I'm excited that we get to play the AFC South because they are just not as good, along with the bottom feeder teams, and that's why so good. So yeah, a lot of excitement still. We are only in May, but we are excited for football and of course Niners football. So make sure again that you hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when we drop new, not only new shows, but when Johnny has his videos as well. And we will come to you Monday, have some more probably film study for you as well. So in the meantime, in between time, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, go Niners.